Ladies and gentlemen, with Texas Alta Limited banner has recently ended, and some new operators added to the CN server. Now it's time to see all the upcoming 6-star operators after Texas Alta. From Reader Alta up until Executor Alta. From Harm Assist to IRS Agent. We will talk a little bit about their abilities and usefulness. And we'll see if they suit your playstyle. So without further ado, let's get started. After Texas Alta, the next new operator based on the CN server schedule should be Read the Flame Shadow.
Doctor. 君は変わらないね.
A unique thing about Read Alta is that she is the first non-limited 6-star altar. Alright, Read Alta is our first 6-star incantation medic. But honestly she feels more like a caster. Her talent 1 make her attacks have a chance inflict a firebrand effect. This effect will weaken the enemy's attack and gives them arts fragility. And talent 2 will give Read a self-healing ability. For skills, skill 1 is pretty much skippable, so let's say skill 2. Skill 2 will make her give circling fireballs on the 2 allies within range, providing a nice sub DPS to the enemy who dares to get close. And activate Read's trait to that ally with the fireballs, meaning they will receive healing every time a fireball touches an enemy. It's a great skill for a unit that often blocks enemies, with a relatively cheap SP cost and fine skill cycle. For maximum damage, you should use it to sandwich an enemy between 2 ops. Next up, Read skill 3, it makes her attack 2 targets, increase her attack, and enhance the firebrand effect. Most of you probably know how good this skill is to clear waves of enemies, thanks to the firebrand effect that will explode once the enemy is defeated, causing AoE damage, and spreading the firebrand to those inside the blast radius. However, when facing only a few or even one foe with high resistance, its performance will get lower, as it quite reliant on a weak mob for that big bang. This Irish princess, while not always dependable as a healer, she does an incredible job as a caster medic hybrid. Quite phenomenal in a stage where you need a 2-in-1 operator. Plus, another operator with ASMR voice for the collection. Okay, after Read Alta, the next new 6 stars are in a limited banner. Featuring Chongyue, the eldest of the Sui siblings and a limited ops. And Linyusha finally become playable as the standard 6-star. Additionally, all previous Sui siblings will be featured in this banner. Now, let's see Chongyue's abilities.
Doctor, 今日の朝練にもいなかったな.
He is the second 6-star brawler guard. Live and die with his massive attack multiplier. Chongyue has talent 1 which increases damage taken by the target. And talent 2 gives him 3 SP if his skill defeats an enemy. I think his skill 1 is also pretty much skippable, so let's see skill 2. Skill 2 deals critical damage to multiple enemies near him. Inflict levitate effect to anyone affected by his talent 1. Then end the levitate almost immediately, and inflict additional and bigger damage. Skill 3 is his bread and butter. It requires multiple activations to activate its full potential. In his case, he will need to activate the skill 5 times to release its stronger effect, which will expand his range, deal 2 normal hits, and inflict an additional hit of critical damage. Chongyue is a good DPS option that can constantly deal big damage with S3. However, he is pretty squishy, and his S3 might be troublesome to activate its full potential if he didn't get enough enemy to hit, or you don't have an SP support unit. And the enemy is not the only one that he will destroy, but possibly your ears too. Okay, now let's see the standard 6-star beside him. We have Linyusha, but you can just call her Lin.
ごきげんよう、ドクター。あなたが面倒に巻き込まれてないといいんだけど。
Lin is the second phalanx caster after Carnelian. Like all phalanx, she won't attack unless using a skill, and have incredible defensive capability when idle. And surprisingly, Lin takes her defense 1 step further. She got a special renewable crystal barrier that can withstand any kind of damage, as long as the value does not exceed 200. If the barrier breaks, deals AoE damage to surrounding enemies and stun them for a moment. For talent 2, there's some chance she will get 1 SP if she got attacked. For skills, skill 1 will make her always attacking an enemy, increase attack, and inflict slow to the target. However, her attack interval will be slightly increased. It's a great crowd control skill that become more amazing if you got attack speed buff. Skill 2 gives more support and offensive utility. It increases her attack speed, reduces her taunt level, and grant her talent 1 effect to all allies in range. Skill 3 is more or less her primary skill. That increases her attack and expands her range. Increase talent 1 crystal barrier threshold. And deal additional damage from her crystal barrier explosion mechanism if she defeat an enemy. I find this skill pretty similar to Read Alter S3, where it really benefits if there are weak mobs in her range. All in all, a good AoE caster and bait unit. After Chongyue and Lin, the next new 6-star should be Chinese Schwartz. I mean, Qiubai.
今回は冗談だということにしておきます。次があれば。
She's our third 6-star Lord Guard, and focused more on crowd control, notably binding. Her talent 1 makes her deal additional arts damage if attacking slowed or bound target, while talent 2 gives her the ability to inflict bind herself. Now let's see the skills of this lady. Skill 1 makes her next attack to inflict bind, plus makes the target receive AoE damage when the bind duration ends. While skill 2 will inflict some instances of arts damage to enemies in her frontal tiles, increasing her attack and slowing all ground enemies in the skill range. Now for skill 3, this one expands her range and increases her attack. Attack turns into arts damage. Attack 3 targets simultaneously, double the damage of her talent 1. And each attack landed on a target will increase her attack speed. At max speed she will almost certainly bind the target, while dealing high arts damage at the same time. Qiubai is an interesting option to do both burst damage and control. That could be useful for you when facing a dangerous ground or aerial enemies. After Qiubai, the next new 6-star is in the anticipated Monster Hunter collaboration event. With the new 6-star is Yato Alter, equipped with Kirin set.
Yeah, Doctor.
Keep in mind she is super limited operator, meaning her banner will not appear again, unless there's another collab with Monster Hunter. Fortunately, collab ops are rather easier to get. With 120 pulls, you are guaranteed to get Yato Alter. Alright, Yato Alter is an executor specialist. Dealing physical damage is her specialty, but she also deals a good arts damage with the help of her talent 1. It's not a big number, but it will be increased with her skill. As for talent 2, she got an attack boost during skill, and 10 seconds after the skill ends. Alrighty, let us now see her skills. Again, I think skill 1 for her is nothing special, so let's skip to skill 2 and 3. Skill 2 has a very short duration, but it gives both big physical and arts damage from talent 1, and also attacking all targets in range. Simple, but very useful as a heli drop skill. For skill 3, Yato will go full B-blade and dash forward to enemies in front of her, dealing critical damage to all enemies who got hit. All in all, a great DPS fast redeploy operator, and nice to have for collection, especially if you love using fast redeploy. Moving on, after the Monster Hunter collaboration, new operators should be released in episode 12. The 6-star is Ines, a long-awaited character who finally becomes playable.
アスカロンにこの護衛の仕事を押し付けられたの。
She is our first 6-star agent Vanguard, with a first talent that can bind enemy and inflict a new steel debuff. Talent 2 makes her able to reveal invisible enemies and reduce their movement speed. If she retreats, she will leave something called a shadow whistle to maintain the effect on that tile. For skills, her skill 1 is a next attack type that inflicts smart damage every second for 3 seconds and generate 2 DP. Skill 2 will expand her range, increase attack and gain invisibility. Also, each attacks will generate 1 DP and steal enemies' attack speed, which in return increase her damage and DP generation output. This skill is also the best option if you want to make her become stationary. Moving on to her skill 3. This one requires you to fully utilize her shadow whistle and be more careful of where you deploy her, as not only it will increase her attack, but you can recall the shadow whistle from her previous position, and the whistle will deal damage to enemies on its path. And like skill 2, Ines will generate 1 DP when hitting an enemy. Other than her thighs, her abilities might also catch your eyes. With DP printing and control, that is useful for the stage early phase, and even for some advanced situation. Next up, the new operators after Ines appear in CN 4th Anniversary event. That event is Lone Trail, featuring the new limited banner. And the long-awaited NPC finally becomes playable. Muelsyse is the limited 6-star in this event, and the standard 6-star is Muelsyse. Meanwhile, the free operator in this event is a 6-star, and it's Silence Alter. She's a great Abjura supporter, but I'll skip Silence for now since she's free. But before talking about these two, here are other limited operators that you can obtain in the banner. Alright then, first we will talk about Muelsyse.
Hello! Candy はいかが?
Mumu is our second 6-star tactician vanguard with a very interesting summoned unit. This water clone already got a predetermined stats, but you can make it copy an operator's range and the following attributes. The clone's train skill effect also depends on whether the mimicked operator is a melee or ranged unit, with ranged clone seems to be a favorite choice by many. Now let's see her second talent, reduce Rhine Lap Ops DP cost, and further reduce it for the first Rhine operator to be deployed. Well, -4 DP cost is quite a big amount, and the best thing is that Mumu herself is a Rhine Lap operator, really perfect with her job as vanguard that needs to be deployed ASAP. For skills, she got a wide variety of skills effect, and some skill effect depends on whether the clone copies melee or ranged unit. For skill 1 it doesn't matter what kind of ops it copies. Skill 1 will generate DP and increase Muelsyse and the clone's stats. For skill 2, immediately obtain DP, increase attack. The clone will get HP regen and sanctuary if it's a melee. But if it's ranged, the clone will deal double hits. Moving on, skill 3 is focused on crowd control. First it generate DP and increase attack like skill 2. If the clone is melee, it will pull surrounding enemies to its position and stun all target. If ranged, all clones will be refreshed, and their attack will inflict bind. All things considered, Muelsyse is a very useful early unit, with a unique summon that can help your stage run in a various way. Now we will talk about the Snake Girl.
あら、ドクター。あなたもここにいたのね。
Qiubai is our third 6-star core-caster, focused on crowd control, specifically levitate effect. With her first talent, increase her damage on aerial enemies and silence them. Talent 2, she will inflict weightless debuff on enemies within range, whose HP is above 80%. Now let's see her skills. Skill 1 is the next attack type that attacks 2 targets. But if only attacking 1, she will also levitate that enemy. For skill 2, her attack will turn into a burst of 9 attacks, with some chance to levitate the target for a sec. And skill 3, arguably her primary skill. It will expand her range like an artilleryman, increase her attack interval a bit, and unleash whirlwind that travels until it hits an enemy, or reaches the furthest tile. And when hits an enemy it will levitate them. It's also a very awesome skill if you can get her an attack speed buff. Whole Hair is a good option if you want both DPS and crowd control. Notably her S3 can be a powerful tool to stall enemies. But you might want to avoid her attack range from getting too crowded, to avoid an unwanted enemy preventing her from attacking the main target. Okay, the last upcoming 6-star on the list is Executor The Ex Foedere.
随分と変わりましたね、ドクター。
As the 6-star of the Reaper Guard, he mainly focuses on dealing damage. First let's see his talent 1, there's a chance he will deal double attack. The chance will increase during skill 4 every ammo consumed. A very useful talent to not only deal more damage, but also obtain 1 more SP, and additional healing. And talent 2 will increase his skill's ammo capacity by 1, for every Laterano ops deployed. Then, let's see his skills. All of his skills have ammo mechanism and offensive recovery. If you have SP support unit, notably stainless, you might want to use them. Okay, skill 1 expand his range and increase his attack. And makes his attack ignore some of enemy's defense. Skill 2 increase attack, defense and block count. And has a chance to dodge an attack and replenish 1 ammo when receiving enemy's melee attack. Lastly his skill 3 increases his attack interval a bit. Expand range, increase attack and more for every ammo consumed. HP recovery from tray doubled or tripled after M1. And deal critical damage after the skill ends to the marked target. Overall Executor is a fine DPS unit with high power and good skill cycle. Though his inability to be healed by normal healing might still be bothersome. But pretty much not a problem if you have unit like Skalter, Bleemy Shine. Or maybe he can keep attacking stainless S3 turret. And there you have it ladies and gentlemen. The upcoming 6-star operators after Texas Alter, until Executor Alter. We got some interesting ops with useful ability to help your stage run. If you ask me which to prioritize, well, it kinda depends on your current team and your preferences. If you lack melee DPS, naturally Chongyue is a good option to prioritize. Looking for a better early unit, why not pick Ines or Muelsyse? Or maybe you want a caster that can heal your operators. But overall, I think the priority still falls on the limited banner. Especially Monster Hunter collaboration. That should be all. Adios.